And going back to our top story of UNSC condemning the J&K terror attack, and we are joined by Dilip Sinha now, former senior Indian diplomat. Welcome, sir, to DD India News Hour. Well, the UN Security Council has strongly condemned the Pahelgam terror attack and called for international cooperation to bring the perpetrators to justice and also for the organizers, financiers, sponsors to be brought to justice. So two questions arise. First, how significant is this statement? And second, what concrete action can the United Nations or the international community take in the case of the Pahelgam terror attack?
This is a very significant development. It is very encouraging and very satisfying that the Security Council has condemned this terror attack. I think this is an outcome of two factors. One is the fact that there is no sympathy at all for any kind of terrorism in the world, especially terrorism that is perpetrated by jihadi elements. And there is also the feeling that Pakistan needs to take action to control its jihadi elements, because it is not just towards India that this terrorism spreads, but there are other countries also that have faced the brunt of Pakistani terrorism. So this is extremely significant and reassuring for India that the world community stands with us. As regards the second point that you made about the possibility of the action that the international community can take, the Security Council can certainly impose economic sanctions on Pakistan, as it has done on certain other countries. This would be the first of its kind against Pakistan, but I think we should press for this, because India's own economic engagement with Pakistan is extremely limited, and Pakistan will feel the pinch of sanctions only when the international community imposes it on Pakistan.
Okay, could you tell us something about the downward spiral in Pakistan's economic, political and diplomatic fortunes that has clearly made the Pakistan army resort to failed strategies of the past, including sponsoring terrorism?
Pakistan has been sponsoring terrorism for a very long time, but what has happened in the last decade or so is that a lot of this terrorism is backfiring on Pakistan. For example, the terrorism against Afghanistan through the Taliban that Pakistan was perpetrating is now backfiring, because the Taliban are in power in Afghanistan and their interests are now divergent from those of Pakistan. And the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which is the Pakistani offshoot of the Taliban, they have taken shelter in Afghanistan. In addition, the Baloch liberation fighters, who are extremely unhappy with the kind of exploitation and repression that is taking place in Balochistan, they are able to find safe havens in Afghanistan, as also in Iran, because of the Pakistani repression. And they are able to, they are also taking action against Pakistan. So Pakistani terrorism is now backfiring on Pakistan. But the Pakistani army is extremely strong, and the jihadi elements that it controls are also strong. So Pakistan is able to inflict a lot of damage both on its own people and across the border, whether in Iran or in Afghanistan or in India.
In your opinion, sir, what might be the broad contours of a fitting response by India to the Pahelgam terror attack, and how useful do you see the steps already taken, such as regarding the suspension of the Indus Waters Treaty?
Well, I think the suspension of the Indus Waters Treaty is the most important action that we have taken, because this treaty was signed in a different era for a different purpose, and we undertook obligations to hand over 80% of our power, of our water, to Pakistan at the expense of the interests of Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir. So it is not just the suspension of the treaty, but I think it is the abrogation of the treaty that India must carry out now, because we need the water for our own purposes today, and there is no reason for us to give this power to Pakistan on a platter and accept Pakistan's blackmail on a number of the projects that we are trying to implement in Jammu and Kashmir for the benefit of the people, even though these projects are in accordance with the Indus Waters Treaty. But Pakistan's obstructionist attitude has led to many of these projects getting delayed many of the dams getting silted, canals getting unusable, all because Pakistan keeps delaying this, taking advantage of the provisions of this Indus Waters Treaty. Last year, India proposed a revision of the treaty to ensure that it fulfilled the purposes for which it was negotiated, but Pakistan rejected that. Now, we must also take advantage of the international atmosphere today, which is against countries taking undue advantage of international treaties. And that is what several countries have woken up to, that some countries take advantage of international treaties to defeat the purposes of those treaties. And that's exactly what Pakistan is doing with the Indus Waters Treaty. The purpose of it was that the two countries would together optimize the benefits that could accrue from proper utilization, from a cooperative utilization of the water. But that Pakistan has never agreed to. It has never discussed cooperative uses of water. Its primary aim has been to obstruct any kind of construction by India on these rivers, to use the waters, even what is legitimately permitted under the treaty for India.
Now, shockingly, Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif has admitted to Islamabad's history of supporting, training and funding terrorist organizations. What would have made him make such a shocking, though true statement?
Well, Mr. Khwaja Asif was possibly got caught in a situation where the journalist of Sky News put a blunt question to him, and he didn't find a way of, couldn't think of a way of getting past it. So he blamed the terrorism on the West. Now, everybody knows that Pakistan was carrying out a whole terror operation machinery against the Soviet Union when it invaded Afghanistan. And subsequently, when after 9/11, when American and international forces were in Afghanistan trying to help the development of Afghanistan, then Pakistan harbored terrorists who forced the international forces to withdraw from Afghanistan. Now, all this is known to the international community, so there's no way Pakistan can deny those. So the defense minister, when caught in this interview, he simply said that we were doing the dirty work for the West. So he tried to divert the blame onto the West, little realizing that no matter, even a hired gunman is responsible for the action he's taken. And Pakistan must pay for whatever deeds or misdeeds it has done, whether on behalf of some other countries or on its own behalf.
Okay. Now, the Pakistan High Commission in London on on Friday, witnessed scenes of a Pakistani diplomatic official making threatening gestures towards Indian protesters across the building. How do you react to that shocking scene?
This is par for course for Pakistan. Pakistani diplomats behave like this. Many of them are motivated by jihadi ideas. They think this is the best way of attracting international attention. In any case, they don't follow diplomatic norms, whether at home or abroad. We know that in India, many of their officials indulge in activities that go well beyond what a diplomat is supposed to do. In foreign countries, they are involved in funding and liaising with terrorist groups. Again, we have evidence of that. So this is par for course for Pakistani diplomats.
Candlelight vigils have been held in different parts of the world to honor those who lost their lives in the Pahelgam terror attack. Would you agree that the Pahelgam terror attack has once again exposed Pakistan globally as a state sponsor of terrorism?
Yes, it has, and it's very satisfying to see that the world has reacted so strongly and so collectively and so unanimously against this terror attack. It means that there is no sympathy for any kind of terrorism in the world, and Pakistan must realize this, that the days when it could it could make excuses for its terrorism are over, and its bluff has been called.
Would you also agree that the united front that all political parties in India have shown in the wake of the Pahelgam attack is exactly what is needed to empower the government to make the terrorists and their sponsors pay a huge price?
Absolutely. This is also very satisfying to see that the political parties in India have responded to this as they should. There's very strong public anger against Pakistan. But I think we should also ensure that whatever action we take has long-term consequences for Pakistan and not just an immediate hot-blooded reaction. Because it is important that whatever we do causes long-term consequences for Pakistan, especially for the ruling regime in Pakistan, that military jihadi complex that controls that country.
Thank you very much, Dilip Sinha ji, for joining us on DD India News Hour and giving your analysis on the story.